I mean, if you're a Bears fan, you're thinking forward progress. Come on.
10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.
That's what you have right here. We give you Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast every day here on 312 Sports. We're brought to you by Beer Church Brewing, New Buffalo's brewery-pizzeria in a historic church. Wood-fired Neapolitan pizza, small batch craft beer, brunch every day. Visit beerchurchbrewing.com. Bernstein, Abaticola.
Hello.
Hey.
Are you excited for Friday?
I am. Well, I'm excited for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, of course. But I'm talking Bears-Eagles, man.
I am. I genuinely.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to it.
I am really excited.
Yeah.
I think it's going to show a lot that there's a lot of things that we've debated that are going to be in front of us, and we're going to see all of the things we're talking about tested in real time in front of the country.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very hard test for Caleb Williams going against Vic Fangio's defense, as we've discussed already, Dan. Vic Fangio's defense.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to clear my throat out.
You right?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Okay. I wasn't like you earlier.
Yeah, it's bad.
With a giant thing in your throat.
I don't know what that was. I don't know.
Whatever you coughed up, it like ran away.
The pits of despair.
Opened the door of the studio and ran out down the hallway.
Yeah.
Knocked Foster over on the way down.
That's hard to do, too.
Oh.
He's got great contact balance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. They say like a heavy bass.
Well, you said that.
No, that's what I thought you.
He was a big dude.
He'll kick your ass.
I know. He's bigger than I am.
So anyway, Vic Fangio's defense. What they're going to show Caleb Williams is the most movement post snap of what he's going to see this entire football season. And we discussed why last week against the Steelers, Caleb Williams was under center more times in dropbacks than he has been in his entire NFL career. So more times he went in dropbacks under center than in the shotgun formation.
We did a lot of this also, if you were listening to DBU today also, or if you were planning to listen to DBU, spent some time talking about this particular coaching matchup too.
Yeah, and I think that it was part of getting Caleb ready for this game on Friday, part of the evolution and how Ben Johnson has talked about week after week. They add things to what they do to the game plan, and they want him to get more comfortable, and they're going to continue doing this in his development and his growth as an NFL quarterback in playing under center, being able to turn his back to the defense, being able to make that adjustment, get his eyes in place, and then focus in on what he sees. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for Caleb. It's tough for any quarterback to turn your back to the defense, turn back and say, all right, this was the picture I saw pre-snap. Now I turn back around. What am I seeing post-snap? Where do I go? What do I do? But being able to do that out of play action with your back to the defense is critical. It's important.
It's a staple to what Ben Johnson wants to do.
But what it also does, it helps against a defense like Vic Fangio's and the Eagles in the fact that it's going to make them pause for half a second. And it's just that half a second that helps quarterbacks make the proper read to stay in that rhythm and then deliver the ball in good timing.
And part of it is anticipating what that reaction to play action is going to be. It isn't a full read of, where's everybody now?
Right.
You're keying on a linebacker, a safety.
Because you're looking at your main guy. And who's your number one?
And then you're understanding if either that's there or it's not, and then you go down the chain. But to know, to assume, okay, somebody bought this fake enough. And I also think there's room for growth in the quality of those fakes.
Yeah,
I really do think he's getting better.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And we pointed it out on Sunday's game and then on Monday too on DBU and Forward Progress. Give him credit and praise him for his body movement in those fakes. I thought it was one of his better games in executing the required body movements to have those fakes look real and realistic, to actually have someone stop for half a second. Again, it's all you're talking about. Half a second or a second makes all the difference into a play.
Not even.
Right.
It's just opening your hips.
But I thought his body was great. He moved well.
Step.
I thought he showed the ball well. I thought he pulled the ball back in really well. I thought he moved really well in the fakes. That's very important in being able to be successful in executing what they want to do. But it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be a fun game. I love when the Bears have these island games Everyone's watching. It also terrifies me, though, because everyone's watching. It's all there for you.
Why does that terrify you?
I like that everyone watches my team, and I want everyone to see what what I see in my team and how I love watching the Bears play football. But I also don't want everyone to always see my team. The execution isn't at the level that we want. It's not at the level that Caleb wants. It's not at the level that Declan Doyle wants, that Ben Johnson wants. But we're getting there.
Yeah, but you need to. It's okay.
Yeah.
That I like. You're a top 5 offensive team in a lot of categories right now. If you can't show them now when you're 8-3, when can you?
Yeah, and I'm still living in the pre-Ben Johnson era. When my mindset.
I know.
And it's those island games. It's like, God, I don't want the Bears to be exposed. Not to the entire country. Let us watch. And let the team.
We'll tell you when it's time.
Yeah, like everyone doesn't need to watch this. Like Matt Eberflus.
What's really funny that when I really felt that way. Do you remember? Was it a Monday night or a Sunday night game when the Bears strangled the Rams, and Trubisky was awful? It was 2018.
Okay,
and I think they won 15-0. You can look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Trubisky threw, I think he threw 3 picks, and he had a rating of like 26. He could not have been worse. And the Bears, it was the peak of that defense. The absolute peak of that. You couldn't get anything. And that was Vic Fangio.
It was 18.
It was 2018. I think it was against and it was one of those national. Hey, these Bears are an interesting team. I don't remember exactly where in the season it was, but it showed you everything. It showed you everything the defense could be, everything that they could do, everything that Vic had envisioned with how to screw up somebody across the line of scrimmage, and Trubisky just threw into double coverage 3 times.
Yeah, it was a 15-6 game.
15-6. Okay.
December 9th, so later in the season, they ended up going 9-4.
So it was around the same time.
Yeah, and you had 6-6 at halftime. The Bears then get 3 more field goals in the third quarter. Blanked the Rams in the second half. They win 15-6.
Yep. And look at Trubisky's numbers if you have them on there. And I remember one of those games that you're talking about. I remember as excited as everybody was, what a win, what a signature win. And just like, yeah, but the warning signs were all there of what it was going to take and what they could do and what they couldn't do and what they had and didn't have in their quarterback. 100
net passing yards, total yards 294 for the Bears. Where is
it? Was bad.
Yeah,
and everything they did was in spite of their quarterbacking. I'm not saying that's going to happen. And before you start trying to light me on fire, I'm not comparing this situation to that one as apples and apples. I'm just remembering when we had that feeling.
I know. 16 of 30, 110 yards, 1 sack for 10 yards, 3 interceptions.
Yep. And I remember just Bears
long of 17, a rating of 28.3.
28.3. That's what it was. So it's worse than spiking it every time. But there are Bears fans of a certain age that are also going to talk about the Monday Night Football Island game against Miami in '85. That was the worst night of Bears fans' lives.
That was terrible.
It was so bad. It was so bad because I had my grandfather was watching with us, who's from Buffalo and just a huge Bills fan, and realized.
Oh, did he? Was he?
Oh my God! He realized everybody was miserable. This is my mother's father, and he
giving it to you guys.
Oh. Relentlessly. And not even in witty fashion. Just he was just kind of cackling to himself and sitting on the couch going, "The Bears suck. The Bears suck."
Yeah, time to leave, Grandpa.
He just kept saying it.
Time to go. Was he staying with you guys or just visiting?
He was staying with the Blacks. I believe he was staying.
Okay.
No, wait, were they staying with us? We were watching over at my aunt and uncle's house, and everybody was completely miserable.
Oh, time to leave.
Yeah.
Or Grandpa's got to shut up, one of the two.
Grandpa, the Bears suck.
So it's going to be
I can hear it clear as a bell.
It's going to be a great test for Caleb Williams. I'm really excited to see what he can show, how he's developed, how he's grown, how he's improved throughout this the course of this season.
Here it is
under Ben Johnson and the tutelage of Declan Doyle. And they're going to be able to take the tape then. And this is also what I'm really excited about is Ben Johnson being able to take the tape and say, all right, this is what you did really well. Here's where we need to improve. And for Ben Johnson to be able to gauge and say, this is where he's at. This is what our next steps are. This is what he'll get to as they keep that progression moving and going. So,
well, and it's tape for everyone.
Yeah, oh yeah, but of course, but
There
I mean,
are- there
again,
are every
the main
potential-
focus though we're looking at here is Caleb. That's our focus and what we've been talking about. But yeah, of course, for everyone.
And when I say everyone, I don't mean just everyone who's on the tape. I mean all the other potential playoff opponents who are watching this tape looking for best practices and saying we're going to. So similarly, Jalen Hurts hasn't been great against zone coverages.
No.
And I do think that there has been enough tape there to understand you're better off in zone versus man. And as undermanned as you are, waiting for the injury report to come out with all of these inexperienced linebackers that you have, zone's hard.
Yeah, and I'm excited for Dennis Allen to be able to, and his staff be able to take that Cowboys-Eagles game that just happened on Sunday with the Eagles up 21-0, losing 24-21, to see what the Cowboys did in that second half of that game. It's also going to be a good time for Thursday's game, the Lions and Packers, not only for us as fans, be able to watch two division opponents the day before, for us to watch them tomorrow while we're enjoying Thanksgiving with family and friends, but for the staff, be able to say, all right, here's an opponent coming up. We have two games with the Packers. Let's get a good look. We have one more game left with the Lions. Here's their most recent tape, be able to dissect that and get ready and game plan for those games. So, yeah, a fun game. Looking forward to that Friday. Of course, as a reminder, DBU will be on Friday morning. We'll have our top 10 Eagles of all time, Feedback Friday feedback, as well as maybe some other stuff as we get into it. And then our Forward Progress show for Friday will be our live post-game show following Bears-Eagles.
Can't wait.
Yeah, have all that. All right, let's get into some audio. As we first start off with Kevin Byard, he was asked about the challenge of playing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge challenge. First and foremost, you talk about Saquon Barkley. Like you said, he hasn't had the year that he's had last year, but I mean, he's still a threat every time he touches the ball. He's a guy we're going to have to corral. And I think when you talk about game plan against a team like that, I think he's definitely priority number one to stop him. And then you talk about AJ and Smitty. AJ's still that guy. I spent 4 years with him, just watching him on film. He's very, very talented. But honestly, if you watch the film, Smitty's been the guy that I think Jalen Hurts probably has the most chemistry with receiver-wise. He's making plays down the field. He's finding them in the slot, option routes on third down. I think he's kind of going to Smitty first. So I think if we can eliminate those big plays down the field, that'd be good. But then also, obviously, Jalen, he's still a great quarterback. Like you said, stats for the entire offense has been down, but they're finding ways to win. I mean, look at us. You know what I mean? Like, our stats hasn't been great on defense, but we're finding ways to win, whether it's creating takeaways, getting out the field on third downs and stuff like that. So, stats is something that we can all look at and judge, but at the end of the day, they're finding ways to win. And I think that's just the testament of their culture and our culture. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for us, just culture against culture. Whose culture is better?
I'm not sure I buy that it's culture against culture. It's still blocking and tackling.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bears, I've never worried about the Bears' effort.
Yeah.
And I don't think when you say finding ways to win, the ways find themselves. However it is, whether it's a blocked kick or whether it's Jake Moody.
The ways don't find themselves. They find ways to present opportunities for you. Right.
Yeah, and you're not sitting down planning and discussing what strange way you're going to win the game.
But I think with culture, though, too, and I'm kind of picking up on this, hearing other players talk, and a lot of the key words, the buzzwords that Ben Johnson clearly uses, because they all repeat, culture being one of them. The culture is really just the full encompassing aspect of what the organization is. That's the process, the game planning, the work, the practice time, the work outside of team structure, and what you're doing to put into the actual game itself. So there, I think when he says culture versus culture, like it's more to it than that.
You know what I've been watching closely as a gauge of that? It's something Ben Johnson talked about as soon as he took the job. And I do think they've been much better at it. Body language.
Yeah.
I really think so. I think the way they carry themselves during a game, the way they approach the line of scrimmage, the way they come out of the huddle, little things like that. The way guys leave the field and enter the field. I know that it's real easy to make fun of that and about what it means, but because Ben Johnson says it's important to him, had he not, I wouldn't. But because he defined it and pointed that out, about we are not going to be a palms up team. We're not going to be a woe is me. We're not going to be, oh, what the hell. And we've seen it. And we've seen where the rubber meets the road, that Caleb Williams, if there's a drop, if he misses if there's a bad penalty, they play over it.
Yeah, and it's interesting that that's one of the things that Ben Johnson's pointed out, and we can go back through and look at a few things he's pointed out in the media about his team. When he mentions them publicly, what happens? There's a change. They change. They change their behavior. They change their attitude towards something. If he calls it out, his team responds.
When he's talked about penalties.
He's talked about penalties and, go clean it up. It's on the leaders now. We've done all we can as coaches. See something, say something. We've talked about that. What's happened? They've cleaned up the penalties. He talked about body language. What's happened? They've cleaned up their body language. So that's great. And that is part of what Kevin Byard talks about with culture. And it starts at the top. And that's why we haven't seen anything like this, because we haven't seen a real NFL head coach around here in a very long time.
True. However, the culture, if you want to do that, and you want to put what the Bears are doing, what the Bears are not, that they've removed they're scraping away the bad to create what can start to be good. They're still sort of scraping off that stuff where the Eagles there's a ring there.
Right. I know.
You're talking about different levels.
Because at the end of the day, though, Dan, it's about talent.
Well, it's about making the most of your talent.
Right.
Sure. Yes.
But still, you can make the most of a second-tier talent. You're going to lose to a top-tier talent.
Who's playing hard. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
It's going to happen. And I like the idea of scraping away. I immediately thought of a broat, with like the stuff
barnacles.
Barnacles and scraping away the barnacles to get to what it's supposed to be.
Have you ever watched one of the videos of like a dry-aged quarter of beef? Or a whole dry-aged...
Like a time-lapse?
Like a rib roast?
Yeah.
Where you see it's controlled spoilage. And then the reveal is when they take the huge machete and just start carving all that stuff off. And what's left is this impossibly perfectly marbled piece of meat that probably, that they're selling for, $100 a
way
pound
too much,
or whatever it is. Yeah.
All right, more with Kevin Byard.
Next man up is something that, we always hear in sports when you guys deal with injuries, but how do you actually go about building and making sure the guys prepared to be the next man up, especially as banged up as you guys were in that Pittsburgh game?
Yeah, I think you got to give credit to the coaching staff. I spoke about this before, but DA, even in the spring, he cross-trained a lot of guys on this team, right? If it was, just use a random example like Kyler Gordon, he was taking reps at safety, he was taking reps at nickel, taking reps at corner. And he's done it for a lot of guys, whether it was Tremaine and TJ's flipping sides.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really interesting. That's why I wanted to highlight that really interesting process that Dennis Allen started before the season began, with the whole idea of cross training. I've never heard that from defensive coordinators. When I can see maybe linebackers. You move different roles at times to see in case there's injuries, but to have guys go out of position to do things.
Hey man, talk to a Broadway director. Talk to a director of a play. How many people understudy multiple roles? It's incredible. Like, people will memorize. You have actors. You've got your glue actors there who can memorize an entire script. Who, if somebody's sick or somebody gets hurt or whatever reason, is ready to step
right
into that play on Broadway, and has repped multiple roles in the play.
Yeah, I just thought it was very cool that Byard brings up Dennis Allen doing that, and here's more of that answer.
So everybody kind of got, different reps at different spots that kind of really understand the schematics of the defense. So I think now that guys have been able to come in, right if they was practice squad guys, whatever it be, has been able to come in and play, is because I think just the job of the coaching staff has done to prepare everybody. But then obviously it's easier said than done. Guys have really came in and taken advantage of opportunities. Right, if you look at a guy like Shawnee, who wasn't projected to be a starter this year, or you talk about DeMarco just this past week, the trust that the coaching staff having those guys go out and execute, but then at the same time, those guys going out there balling, not making plays.
Shawnee is Nishan Wright.
Correct. All right, so I want to jump ahead real quick here and just bring in and tie in an answer from Dennis Allen.
Okay.
along those lines, because Kevin Byard just said, all right, we cross-trained, you had guys different positions, about the next man up. Why were the Bears successful against the Steelers? Now, I know the Steelers' offense isn't
Because
quite
their quarterback sucks.
Isn't quite what the Eagles are going to present to the Bears, but you're successful with next man up. Even so deep to the point that your 3 reserve linebackers, one goes out, another guy has to step up mid-game and plays the majority of that game.
Goes out, and Amen Ogbongbemiga, a core special team,
and had a great game.
Ended up with double-digit tackles. Yep.
So I want to go to Dennis Johnson Dennis Allen, and he uses a really cool analogy of an offensive coordinator with a lot of offensive weapons, only having one ball. But it's valuable here what he does, what his mindset is with defense. Kevin Byard gave us a little glimpse of it in this cross training of different roles, different positions for guys. And here's what Dennis Allen said.
Next man up is something that, we always hear in sports when you guys deal with injuries, but
sorry.
How do you actually go about?
Yep. I was like, he didn't say that.
No, I don't think he did.
No, hang on.
I'm hanging on.
It's no different than the offensive coach that you've got all these offensive weapons. There's only one football. How do you distribute the ball to all of them? At some point, everybody's going to have a role to play. What that role is going to be from week to week may change. But we'll have a plan in place.
So that also goes in line with what happens when you get Tyreek Stevenson, you get Kyler Gordon, you get Jalen Johnson back. He's going to you're going to see different combinations. He's going to fit those guys in, and you're going to see guys play different spots, so they're all on the field. Maybe not all at the same time, but different combinations of guys, maybe in different roles, in different assignments based on what's presented in front of them from the offense or the game situation. He's going to work guys around. And at first you think, well, how can that be successful in just like a week of preparation? But this is something they've been doing since going back to the spring. Working different roles, not just linebackers shifting sides or moving interior to exterior, but corner nickels going to safety, safeties moving into cornerback. He's been doing different things to get guys ready. So be able to have these combinations is going to be a great problem for him to have with all these guys back. But I'm not concerned at all.
As long as the buy-in is
how
there,
it's going to work.
As long as somebody like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who is great when things are going well, and he's got a history of being not so great when they're not, if indeed he's evolved, and he can deal with maybe a little bit of a lesser role and just be pleased that he's on a roster. I'm not saying that he's not going to have a role, but Kyler Gordon's a better player than he is.
Right, but he's also is a guy that makes plays. He's going to find ways to have him on the field.
Fair enough, but it's not without deficiencies. He's too small to be a full-time run-down linebacker, and I don't know that he's fast enough or has the skills to be a boundary corner or safety.
And maybe Kyler Gordon is off, and it's just a rotation for a play or two where he comes in where it's going to benefit him most. I'm not concerned at all, and I trust Dennis Allen to make those right decisions. But I just love the idea that this started months ago, and not planning in advance. Like, all right, when most of our starters are out and they're hurt, here's how this is going to work. But doing that in advance and just saying, all right, we've already worked through this. We know what we're doing in case these things happen.
What it reminds me of, do you remember in training camp when Ben Johnson had all the offensive linemen catching passes?
Yes.
And we thought, haha, that's cute for his little trick plays and stuff. It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And they do more than that. I actually had a really interesting conversation with former Bears offensive coordinator Ron Turner when he was the head coach of the Illini about in college, and this was the old college football before transfer portal and before re-recruiting your own guys, everything that goes on. When you knew you'd bring guys in and have them for a while. Every year, they would decide about position switches. They'd throw everything open. And they would say, especially looking at freshmen, they would just say, where do we want to play this guy? Once he was there, it didn't matter where he played in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They had their scouting report, they had their ideas, but it was always about fresh eyes, maybe like, you know what? He's a running back. You know what? This wide receiver, I don't like his hands, but I think he could be a corner. Maybe this tailback also has some safety. And they would think that way. And they wouldn't always act on everything, but they would have those conversations and they would have those meetings. So what I trust about this coaching staff, not at the same level, you can't do that when you've signed a contract.
Correct.
And I'm not asking for that. But there may be, no matter what your scheme is, no matter what you came in with, say, oh, you know what? when he was running scout team, I saw him do something. I'd like to see more of that. I want to see, can we just get him a couple reps? I'm going to move him to the running back room. Hell, the Bears tried it with Velus Jones.
Right.
And Bears fans should know this. They had to do something going back to Devin Hester. That there are times when you're looking for ways to create value. And I think they do more of that than we know about.
Yeah, and I think one way to avoid trying to find ways to find value and create value is just make better picks.
That helps.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you can do both, but I don't think they're mutually exclusive skills. But I would agree that picking somebody who's really good at what he does.
At football?
Yeah.
Kevin Byard, will continue with him. He was asked about Ben Johnson.
Chicago's got the right guy in place. Just the type of culture he's been able to set from the beginning since he's been here. I know he spent a lot of time on the offense as far as game planning and stuff like that, but his meetings and just what he always is preaching. He's going over a lot of situations in the meetings, whether it's on Fridays and things like that. Man, he's been awesome. He's been great for this culture. And like I said, I don't think, we could have pegged to say, hey, we're going to be 8-3 to start this year. But I just knew just from the process that we had from the spring up until this point, it's a winning culture and it's a winning process. So winning, basically has to precede that for sure.
All right. He was asked about defending the tush push, as of course it will come up. And I thought it was interesting, Dennis Allen, when asked about the tush push, he said the best way to defend it is not allow them to get in that situation.
Well, they got burned by a fake one, too.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting to hear Ben Johnson talk about that. And you as a casual fan watching the NFL, you never think that there are compliments off the tush push, like the alignment that's set up, the formation that's set up. You think, all right, tush push, and because we've seen it with the Eagles for years now, you just do it. They go forward and they're successful with it. But to have compliments that you run things off that type of formation.
Well, it gets back to why Ben Johnson says he doesn't use it, remember?
No, what did he say?
He said, when is the last time a tush push was an explosive?
Well,
he said
Sunday.
You can find his quote. Yeah, but you can find his quote.
Yeah.
The reason why he's not a tush push guy was because he said he wants every play and every look
to be able to go 10 plus or 20 plus
to score,
yeah.
to have the possibility of having something out of it that scores. That's exactly what he's talking about, is what was done to his team.
Them, where they got, 50-some yards?
55.
55, yeah, 6. All right, so Kevin Byard's asked about defending the tush push.
No, honestly, I think we did a good job defending it personally, especially the first one. There's a lot of commentary about the tush push. I think the way DA kind of preaches it is really good. You see a lot of teams, especially defending it, trying to jump over the pile and stuff. That never works. He kind of looks at it like a rugby play where the guys behind, if your man is if you're in man-to-man and your man is behind the guy on offense is pushing, then you push your guy, you push the defensive line. I think we did a really good job of stopping it. Now, the other part of it is just defending and understanding what's the plays off of it. And, they was able to kind of get to the edges, and we were kind of really bunched up in there. So I think this time around, DA, obviously talking about our short yardage day tomorrow, we'll have I think we'll be a little bit more disciplined on the edges. But I think we did a good job actually defending the actual tush push play. But obviously Philly's the best at doing it, so we'll see. We'll see how we do. On Friday.
Yeah. So the Bears put on tape, hey, this is a weakness, a deficiency that they got exposed on that play. Now you got to be ready for that. And what the Eagles could possibly put as a compliment now off their tush push.
They could fake the fake.
Right.
See.
Fake the fake, but still do it and fake the fake. That's fake.
Sounds like the Pete
with another
Townsend
fake
song. Yeah,
fake the fake. All right, so Kevin Byard, last one for Kevin Byard, asked about being satisfied with their 8-3 record, how they're not satisfied as a team.
And we've been able to, get some great results, but at the end of the day, man, we still have a lot of things to improve on. We're not playing the Super Bowl tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's a great game. It's another game to obviously show our culture, show our team, but we're still trying to get better. And that's always what it is. At the end of the day, we're happy with where we are, but we're not satisfied whatsoever. So I think that's just the mantra for this team, for every player. As you watch the film and you grade yourself, it's like, we're happy we win. You're never going to apologize for winning, but at the same time, let's not get too caught up in the results because there's a lot of things on the tape. From a team aspect and also a personal side that we continue to get better. And as long as you try to continue to get 1% better, eliminate some of those mistakes, that's just what you can focus on. And the rest of that is just going out there and trying to play.
Good stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Agree.
Before we get into Caleb Williams, there's a cut that I want to play with Kevin Byard and Caleb Williams. So I put the two cuts together because Kevin Byard was asked about being 8-3, winning games later in the season, how each next game is bigger than the last because the position that you're in. So he goes on to answer it. Then Caleb Williams was asked the similar question. And then we have his answer. So it's
juxtaposing these answers.
It's Byard's answer, the question to Caleb, and then Caleb's answer.
Got it.
Multiple games, and you get
Hang on. Sorry. There we go. This is at the start.
As you win multiple games and you get to this point where, you're 8-3, like every game the next game is the biggest game of the year because the more and more you win, the more important each of these games are. So we're going to treat it as such.
The next game is the biggest game of the year.
Right.
But regardless of who you're playing, do you feel like each of these games, as you're winning, continue to feel bigger and bigger?
No. You don't put, as a team at least, we don't put that type of energy, that type of effort, that type of pressure on any other game. We go into each game, focus on being 1-0. You don't look over there, compare yourself to their record, their team, their coaches, their players, or anything like that. We focus on us, we focus on ourselves, we focus on our details, we focus on when we're in between that 53 and 120 execution, and scoring as many points as possible. And then obviously, defense trying to stop them from scoring as many points as possible. And, when you do that consistently, you'll come out with the right outcome at the end of it. And so that's what we focus on.
They're both right.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how they both answered the same question to it.
It's one thing for Caleb to say I, but he said we. It may be the royal we.
Yeah.
It may not be talking about this is how the team looks at it. He might have just broadened his own philosophy rather than
as
saying,
a captain,
saying
as
a
quarterback
representative of the
yeah.
Bears
Yeah.
necessarily. But I'm not going to pick a fight in this and parse everything that they've said because I get where each one is coming from.
All right, one more with Caleb here.
You talked to us after the game Sunday about some of the throws you're usually surgical with that just weren't there. When you watched it, what kind of irked you? What did you notice when you rewatched some of those plays?
Yeah, my feet were. I was exactly where I should have been in the sense of dropping back and all of this. I think my base got a little wide. And then, my legs weren't fully under me yet early in the game, I would say, for some reason. And so just doing a better job in warm-ups and things like that, making sure that my legs are a little bit more warm. If I do ever feel that kind of feeling I felt early in the game and just focus on that. And then other than that, my base got a little wide and then, things started getting high on me. And so just circling back to the small details that go into it. We started, I think Coach said he called 18 passes in a row at one point. So, just focusing in, honing in on my details. And that's every single detail when it comes to my position. And so I think it was my footwork. And then, my legs just not been under me.
Did you notice that he'd called 18 in a row?
I didn't notice. You kind of get into a flow and, it didn't feel like it was 18. I don't really mind too many of those, those are always fun, going 18 passes in a row, but no, I didn't actually notice.
My legs not under me.
So he talked about his legs not being warmed up. My legs weren't warmed, and I need to do a better job of getting warmed up.
It was 54 degrees.
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily means
literal temperature.
Right. I think he means like I don't know if it was being loose, being ready to go. But here's the question for you. He said that he has to make sure. You know what? I'm just going to go back to it because
that he does a little extra in warm-ups.
Okay, but hang on a second though. Hang on.
You talked to us after the game Sunday about some of the throws you're usually surgical with that just weren't there. When you watched it, what kind of irked you? What did you notice when you rewatched some of those plays?
Yeah, my feet were. I was exactly where I should have been in the sense of dropping back and all of this. I think my base got a little wide. And then, my legs weren't fully under me yet early in the game, I would say, for some reason. And so just doing a better job in warm-ups and things like that, making sure that my legs are a little bit more warm. If I do ever feel that kind of feeling I felt early in the game. And
okay, so doing a better job in warm-ups to get his legs under him. And he said, if I ever feel that way again, I know I need to do a better job. But here's the thing: if you feel that way again while the game's already started, it's too late.
The last time I heard that phrase and I asked the player what he meant, it was when Richard Dent came back to the Bears. For under Wanstedt, they signed him off the street. He like unretired and came back, and we were watching him in practice, and he looked old and slow.
Yeah, I think in his case it would just be being old.
Well, and he's like, I'm fine. I just got to get my legs under me. I And I said, what do you mean by that?
It's like being in shape.
I don't know what he meant, but he wasn't.
For him, it's not about being in shape.
He wasn't moving his legs
for him by
fast
Caleb.
enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Dent wasn't. He wasn't at his usual, 45-degree angle when he's making some of these cuts on the sides of his feet. And I never quite, to be frank, I never quite understood exactly what he was saying, other than, you got old legs now.
I would love to know what Caleb meant when he said that, but like I said, if he's back in a game again and he's feeling like his legs aren't underneath him, it's too late then at that point,
right?
So my feet were. I was exactly where I should have been in the sense of dropping back and all of this. I think my base got a little wide, and then my legs weren't fully under me yet early in the game. I would say for some reason, and so just doing a better job in warm ups and things like that, making sure that I'm my legs are a little bit more warm. If I do ever feel that kind of feeling, I felt early in the game. And
one thing though I do want to praise, and Declan Doyle talked about it as well too, and we'll get some cuts from him in a second. Caleb is getting better at being where he's supposed to be on that given play, which is good. That's a big step in the right direction in not only being in the right place, but his eyes also being in the right place, which is more important.
Yes.
Now, we just need to work on the footwork a little bit. His base does get a little wide, and he's talked about it. You even heard him say it. When his base is wide, the balls fly. That's when he gets
your
high.
Right shoulder can drop.
Right, and he drops, and the balls go high.
Yep.
But the fact that he's in the right place, both foot-wise and vision, is what's valuable.
It's the same as a hitter overstriding.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to the backside and the firm backside that a hitter needs, that when you do overstride, there's a tendency to sort of drop and scoop, and you can get a loop in your swing rather than staying tall as long as you can on the backside and being at an optimal place to move the bat into the strike zone, into the hitting zone. Same deal.
Yeah.
Same deal. Same reason why you'll often see baseball hitting coaches, putting a band in between a guy's feet and saying, this is the end of your stride. This is where you stop. This is, by the time this foot hits here, your hands have to be loaded. Same kind of deal with talking about his mechanics delivering that ball.
All right, one cut here from Dennis Allen.
How would you characterize the two plays that Nashon's made the last 2 weeks and the interceptions? You don't even see Pro Bowl receivers making those type of catches on a regular basis.
Yeah, look, I mean, I feel like I stand up here every week and say these things like it's a credit to the player. I mean, the player is really he comes here every day. He goes to work. He's always positive. He's always trying to do exactly what we're coaching him to do. Again, I think our assistant coaches do a great job with these guys. But I think if you're smart. And you got some talent and you're willing to work, then I think us as coaches and the staff that Ben's put together, I think we can help you become a better football player. And I think he's exactly that. I mean, he's smart, he's got athletic ability, and he works extremely hard. And when you put those three things together, you tend to improve.
Before we get to the substance of that answer, can I just express a pet peeve of mine and explain why it's a pet peeve?
Sure.
I've done this before. That question came from Larry Mayer. It's a perfectly reasonable question. Larry Mayer, longtime guy. He ran Bears Report for a long time. Years ago, he was hired by the Bears. He works for the Bears. He runs Bears.com. He's in charge of the editorial component of their public relations department. He works for the Bears. His job as the editorial director, essentially, of their PR department, is to create content about the Bears that puts the Bears in a positive light.
Yep.
As an employee of the team, his questions, his access can come on their time, not the media's time. There's a finite number of questions that can be asked by a properly adversarial media trying to do their job. And as George Orwell said, that journalism is reporting things that someone doesn't want reported. All else is public relations. You can get what the team wants on team time, but in the precious opportunities that the rest of the media has, none of those questions should be taken up by the PR department. The PR department is running it. The PR department is, they could say one more question. They can end the interview at any time. And to have one of those questions be asked by the PR department is perverting the entire process. I like Larry a lot. He's a super guy, and I respect him that he has a job to do.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with Larry. It's just about the dynamics of
general,
that role.
I hear this all the time because people don't know who works for the team, because people don't understand where the content is coming from. When you know who's working for whom, there should be a time and a place where the team paid guy on the payroll, an extension of the PR department, can have access to whatever he wants, whenever he wants. That's up to you. You're the team. But when it does come time for other people and outside media to try to find out things by asking pointed questions and following up and trying to find out things you don't want out there, that's a different opportunity, a different time and place that should not be taken up at any point by questions from the PR department.
All right, so
I'm done with my old man rant.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And that was the question about Nashawn Wright and Dennis Allen's answer about your guy Nashawn Wright. If you're smart, you got some talent, you want to work hard, we're going to make you a better football player. I just liked his answer.
Good. Yeah.
And I think what stood out to me about it was we're going to make you a better football player, and he doesn't go into the whole we're going to make you a better man. This whole idea with football coaches and
grow the man.
Yeah. Just, hey, you want to become a better player? We're going to make you a better player. That's what's going to happen. And that's what we've seen with Nashawn Wright. Also, third round draft pick, but now getting opportunities to be successful in the field and taking full advantage of those opportunities. And like we talked about with one of our football friends, Kevin Fishbane, is he playing himself into a bigger contract outside of the Bears organization?
Gotta be.
He certainly has.
One of my favorite little trivia notes of this season, and one that I think is illustrative of the NFL in ways that maybe people don't appreciate. Look at the Patriots defense under Mike Vrabel, and look at how many of their starters have been cut by another team. It's something like 7 or 8 or so.
Oh, yeah, and on top of that, look at the guys that he's gotten rid of. Guys that were staples in the regimes before him, and he said, "Yeah,
but
we're good."
That is like that story. I think has been underplayed, and when you sell that across the league, and we go into these drafts and we look at draft pedigree and all that, but when you can consider, when you can sell a practice squad guy, when you can be one of these guys at the end of Hard Knocks that we see him get cut and he goes back to his apartment, he's packing up, and then he gets a text and we want to put you on the practice squad or whatever it may be because somebody got hurt. The fact that guy could there's a reasonable chance that guy could become a Pro Bowler is really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing about the league, and it does talk about variance and situation and nature versus nurture. But I would love to know, sort of where they are now and what it says about the job that Vrabel's done and the developmental ability and the pro scouting ability to find guys who've been cut, where other teams said, we don't want you on our team. And another team can be leading a division with a defense populated by those guys.
Do you know off the top of your head, because I'd have to look, outside of Vrabel, guys that have come off the Bill Belichick coaching tree that are actually good at coaching?
Oh, not enough.
Right. I mean, not as many as you would think.
Or head coach. Josh McDaniels, I think, is clearly a good offensive coordinator.
But no, guys that have gone, and I think by that I mean head coach, the coaching tree, guys that have left the nest, and now you become a head coach, and you're actually good at what you do.
Matt Patricia, no.
Right.
Eric Mangini, no. Charlie Weiss, no.
Is it? I think it's just. Was Romeo Crennel there? with New England, or am I making that up?
Might have been. I mean, I
think he was, wasn't he? Wasn't he there with Charlie Weiss?
I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that were just sort of, it's like what happens with any great coach, where people are just aping the demeanor and the weirdness rather than the genius, and they just don't have what he's got.
Well,
or
also not being your own person, where Vrabel is who he is.
Yeah.
Instead of taking on, this is the guy that I came from. Yeah, Cornell was head coach for the Browns.
Bengals?
No, because Bengals was who was the longtime guy there? Because that was during Cornell's time as head coach.
Romeo.
God, why can I not think of the Bengals head coach now forever? Jesus.
Was it Hugh Jackson you're talking about? Because there was Romeo Crennel was the Cleveland Browns coach from 2005. He was a coaching assistant to Parcells. So his connection was the Parcells connection.
Okay.
Crennel was...
He was never with the...
He was with the Patriots from 93 to 96 as defensive line coach.
Okay. Marvin Lewis is the Bengals coach I'm thinking of. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to Declan Doyle.
Let's.
And just a few cuts from Declan Doyle.
He says stuff, by the way.
He's very good.
It is one thing I've noticed about Declan Doyle is when you go back and read some of the stuff he says, you look at it, you're like, oh, that is more significant than it sounded when I heard it.
Yeah,
perhaps.
no, he shares a lot of...
He says stuff.
A lot of stuff. And the first stuff he's going to share is on Vic Fangio's defense.
Vic has done a great job just over the years. I mean, he's really changed the way teams play defense. You've seen a lot of teams structure kind of the way they're built off of how he's built his defenses in the past. It's principled. They do a really good job of understanding, what their scheme, where the issues are, how they use their players is really advantageous to them. They do a good job of holding the shell and trying to disguise and make things cloudy on the quarterback. And so the main thing is really it's still about us. It's still about his process and being able to, see the defense and make sure that his post-snap picture is either the same as what he saw pre-snap or very quickly transition into, hey, I need to move on or move my eyes or my feet somewhere else.
Yes. Now that he's describing Friday.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, he is describing
the defense tries to make it look cloudy for the quarterback, and then when you get that pre-snap picture,
the essence of it,
turn back around,
the overlay.
Yep,
the overlaying those two photos and drawing the right conclusion from them is the essence of success or failure for him in this game. That and delivering a ball where it's supposed to be delivered.
Well, again, that's like the third step in the process.
Right.
That's why it's gonna be a good test for that young quarterback. All right, he was asked to talk about Caleb's improvement from the start to where they're at now.
His eyes have improved. His feet have improved. They've gotten better every week. You go back to the tape every week, and there are plays where you're like, man, this is what it looks like. You know what I mean? This is what we want all the time. And then there are still plays that you're like, okay, this isn't what we want. Okay, this is how we want it, and he's very receptive to all that. And so that's been awesome. It's been great to work with him. He's a guy who's very hungry for growth. He's very hungry to hear feedback, and he wants to improve. And that's really the first step in a lot of steps.
All right, more with Declan Doyle.
Where Caleb's eyes weren't in the right place, and is that tied to some of that inaccuracy that he showed?
No, I wouldn't say that there was any specific time where he wasn't looking at the right spot. And he would have to answer that better than I could as far as, where that's leading. There's certainly plays that we want back from that game. We felt like, we had some further down the field throws that if we had brought the ball down just a little bit may have been explosive plays for us. But that's something that, him, JT, coach, we're all working to get corrected. And, we'll continue to do that.
All right, then last one with Declan Doyle.
There are times during the game where you see Caleb use different arm angles to get the ball around defensive linemen. While that's a great skill, it seems like sometimes that puts the ball behind the receiver. How do you improve, not taking that away, but improve you're using that talent that you have, but you have to still lead your receiver?
Yeah, I think every quarterback is different. It's all about ball location at the end of the day. And so we want him to play within the rhythm of what we're asking him in the concept. At times, there are going to be off-platform throws where there's a guy in your face, or I'm on the move, or something like that. You're trying to limit those as best you can with the protection being clean, and giving him a pocket to operate from. And yet, at the same point in time, that's why he's a guy that gets taken first overall, is because he does have the ability to play from some different arm slots. But that's something that every snap, it's different. Like. We want to try to eliminate the variation there, and yet if he has to step up and make a funny body throw, the biggest thing is that the ball location is premium.
Wow, eliminate the variation.
We want to try to eliminate the variation there, and yet if he has to step up and make a funny body throw, the biggest thing is that the ball location is premium.
Premium.
He started it by saying it's all about ball location.
Mm-hmm.
He finished it by saying the ball location is premium.
Has to be premium.
Has to be. Try to eliminate the variation, the variance, if he needs to make a funny body throw.
Mm-hmm.
That's a window into Ben Johnson there.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of his mouthpiece. That is a window into how he sees it.
Right, because this offense wasn't created for Caleb Williams. This is Ben Johnson's offense that Caleb Williams is being asked to execute.
There it is. It's all about ball location. Premium.
And that's why I get frustrated with Caleb. When they do present opportunities for him to have a clean pocket and he has a firm foundation to throw. And I've said that his footwork has gotten better. His vision has gotten better. Declan Doyle just said that. There's areas of improvement.
This is another step.
That he's in the right place. He's in the right spot. He's seeing the right things. And you have all the opportunity to get a premium throw made. We need to be more consistent with those opportunities. In whether it's a big play opportunity that's down the field that could maybe put a game away earlier, or it's an opportunity to end a game where you're not giving a team that shouldn't be in the game with you an opportunity to come back and either tie it or take the lead to close that game out. Those are the opportunities that frustrate me because I know that he has the ability to make those throws and do that. Like, it's the great throws that are off schedule, that are the secondary playbook, that are just like, those are the ones you shake your head and go, how did he just do that?
And whatever you got to do it. But ideally,
it's the ones that are there in the structure of what they're creating. Hit those throws and stop being inaccurate with those throws. Now, again, I went back and watched the Steelers game, and I've talked about the missed passes and how it's frustrating. And people are saying, and I've seen some comments, Dan, of like, oh, do you want him to be 50 for 50? You want him to be perfect?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, I'd take it.
That's not right, but it's not reasonable.
Right.
He was like 19 of 39 or whatever, 19 of 35, whatever it is. All I'm asking for is 5 different passes. There were 5 passes in that game that he had opportunities with a clean pocket and a firm foundation and an open receiver to make a good, accurate throw that gets a first down or keeps a drive moving or ends a game.
There was at least one bad throw that was caught, too.
So all I'm saying is I'm not asking for perfection, but hit those opportunities that are there. And instead of being 19 of whatever, you're 24 of whatever.
He'd agree with you.
Right. Of course, he said that.
Yeah, he said it.
Yeah. But great stuff, though, from Declan Doyle. I mean, he really shares a lot of great insights.
He said it.
Yeah.
If you are looking for a party that everybody's going to actually remember, I got the place for you to do it. It's Beer Church Brewing in New Buffalo. It is just a hop and a skip from Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana because at their pizza-making school, private party, it's everything you think it is, but better. I kind of thought it was like being at Willy Wonka's pizza factory. All the stuff that I was learning and the passion with which they describe everything, because you and your crew get hands-on. They've got these awesome wood fire kitchens. It's real Neapolitan pizza. You learn how to stretch the dough properly. I tried to actually toss it up in the air a couple times. I didn't quite. It was all right.
That's hard to do.
One kind of spun on me a little bit,
hard.
and it almost hit the floor, but I grabbed it. But I think given time, I could probably get okay at it. But I was too hungry, so I'm like, fine, this is enough. Now, can we stretch it out? Can we?
You're still eating the uncooked crust, the dough. I mean, you still
kind of nibbling.
You're still
on
hungry.
Well, don't tempt me because it is that good. And then you top it with the ingredients. You dig in. when you do one of these parties, you can eat every pizza on their menu. No joke. Every one. They can just keep bringing them until you say stop. Because the fire's so hot, they only take 2.5 minutes to actually cook.
Even if you're not doing a party there, you can go eat every pizza on the menu. You just go order one after the other.
You just
eat them all.
eating them. And they make their own craft beers. They've got wine packages or cocktail packages with the party. If you want to do a pairing with the Beer Church small batch brews, they can do that too. It can be a lunch party. It can be a dinner party. It's private. It's exclusive. Friends, family, your whole office. It's like nothing you've done before, and it's memorable and different and incredibly delicious. You can book it now at beerchurchbrewing.com to let the pizza party begin. beerchurchbrewing.com. And if you just want to go hang, this is a great weekend to do it. If you want to just take a little bit of a drive and find yourself a spot on the patio, the heated patio, all the games are going to be on. So watch and nibble and nosh and drink and enjoy.
And say hi to John, ask for John, tell him you love his sauce, and then tell him hello. On Sunday during the Bears game, I didn't tell you this, I ordered pizza. I'm not going to say where I got it from. It wasn't like a chain place.
Right.
And it's a Neapolitan style margarita.
But why?
I ate one slice.
Yeah, because you know it's not.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, because you have something in your head that it's going to satisfy, but only the realness is going to satisfy that, and that's certainly what you get at Beer Church. So visit beerchurchbrewing.com. I have a really important update for you.
Wait, hang on. I got something. When you have updates, hang on.
Yes.
Hang on.
This is a penis punch update. Breaking news.
We now go live to reporter Dan Bernstein standing by. Dan, what's happening with the penis punch?
Details at this point, Matt, are sketchy. I am standing outside the NFL offices. We have been waiting all day for an update on how they are adjudicating the penis punch. What we are hearing is that Carolina Panthers safety Trayvon Merrick was suspended one game by the NFL for what is being called an act of unsportsmanlike conduct. Merrick hit Niners receiver Jawan Jennings in the groin after a play in the fourth quarter. Now, the NFL, this just handed to me, the NFL said that Merrick has violated Rule 12, Section 3, Article 1, which applies to, quote, any act which is contrary to the generally understood principles of sportsmanship.
And touching another man's wiener.
Including, among others, throwing a punch or a forearm or kicking at an opponent. Now, Matt, I have got a copy of the NFL rules here, and I have looked at Rule 12, Section 3, Article 2, that says, stop punching people in the dick. And it's been in there for a long time. So he's also in violation of the stop punching people in the dick rule. So Trayvon Merrick is going to appeal the suspension, but he has been suspended. It is possible that while Jennings' action after the game is under review for a fine, only Merrick will be suspended. This has been your Forward Progress Penis Punch update. Further bulletins as events warrant.
Nicely done.
Thank
nicely
you.
done.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you.
Intrepid reporter
Thank
Dan
you.
Bernstein
I gotta
on
head
site.
back. I'll be heading back out there soon.
Yeah.
Just in case. I'm staking it out just in case there are more penis punch updates.
All right, when I saw it on the rundown, the penis punch, I thought, again, you were going to share a recipe from Grandma.
Pour yourself a big old ice cold tall boy a penis punch.
Right. Thought one of their big bag of dildos and penis punch, and you're good to go.
Hey,
Thanks,
man.
Grandma.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Grandma.
All right, real quick here as we take a look at tomorrow's games for us, Dan, while you're enjoying your Brussels sprouts and your served soup and your intermezzo.
I don't think we're doing soup.
No soup, okay.
I don't think no soup for us.
No soup for you, at least.
No, I've got my plan. Just leave me alone. I told you what my plan was.
You should bring like a can of Campbell's and be like, hey, can you pop this open for me since we're not doing soup?
In all seriousness.
Like, hey, what's up, cuz? Where's the soup?
Beth has, in the past, brought a can.
Is this going to get you in trouble?
No, she loves.
We'll just cut it out.
She loves the canned cranberry sauce.
Oh.
Like Ocean Spray or even like Kroger brand.
Who doesn't?
She loves the canned stuff.
So does my wife. She loves it.
She's brought it in the past because we've got like they make cranberry. So sometimes one is a sage cranberry sauce. Sometimes one is sweeter than the other.
I made one year.
Yep.
And in addition to having the canned stuff.
Yeah, she says if it doesn't actually have the lines from the can, it doesn't count.
Yeah, 1 year. I made it 1 year. I'm like Johnny Dangerously. I did it once.
Once.
Yeah.
My mother hung me on a hook once.
Yeah, and I won't do it again.
That movie's bad, by the way.
Oh, but it's great bad.
It's so bad.
Farging Icehole. Don't say that.
I mean, I saw that in the headline.
You sons of bitches.
You farging Iceholes.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Bargain War. And then the newspaper spins out. And
such a good movie.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's so good. All right, while you're enjoying all your food tomorrow, Dan, for Thanksgiving,
yes,
you get Packers Lions first, which is great.
What time does that start?
Noon p.m.
Noon. Okay, noon start. All right.
Then you get the Chiefs at the Cowboys. That's your
great uniform matchup.
That's your Treat-Shirty game.
Okay.
Do you like when the Cowboys wear the helmets that have the red stripe on it?
No.
Not the bottle of beer. They don't like run around with a red stripe on. Come on, take the beer off your helmet, man. Yeah. No, it's like the actual red stripe. I don't like that either.
No, I don't like it.
It looks like something they forgot to take off.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
So it looks like that they would be the evil Cowboys in the movie.
The Cowboys with the red stripe. Man. So Chiefs Cowboys are your midday game.
All right.
And then so excited.
What, the digestion game is what?
The digestion game is, hang on.
So I'm going to be having some pie.
Bengals at Ravens.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not a strong way to end.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, how long? I mean, you don't know this off the top of your head. Like when they added this third game.
Yeah, that's a
NFL Network added a third game, and it like at first it was exciting, but the matchups always haven't been good.
You know that is one that's perfect for. I'm not going to want to go seek out a television during the meal. I don't think it'll be on.
Like if there's one in front of you, like you'll look at it, but you're not going to go.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be like, oh, there's a game going on and I'm missing it. There it is.
What?
That'll be like by the time
Well, that's 7:20. What time do you eat?
Yeah, probably around 6.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be right in the middle of
it.
We
do earlier. We're doing like a 4:00 start.
Well, we'll be nibbling around 5 is when the cheese plate comes out, and we're just kind of hanging. But yeah, we don't usually sit down until a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah, no, ours is post that afternoon game.
Yeah, then it's like the top button gets undone, and then maybe I circle back
of your blouse or your pants,
all of it.
Okay,
for a sliver of maybe a little bit more pie because we'll have pumpkin and pecan, and sometimes I like to do 2 rounds of pie.
How many candy bars are you having tomorrow?
No candy bars.
You're not going to bring any
in my pocket?
You should
just slip out a Take 5 or something.
In your pocket.
Yeah. I brought my own candy bars. Pretty good.
And then tomorrow, when you're with your cousins, you should ask them this:
Who was the first big-time riverboat gambler? Who cares? Probably some hunk who said "want bet."
Yeah, and then you do. Yeah, you can get them all signed up on my bookie and have some fun.
That's
play
right.
Some games.
We'll hang out there. Yeah, I think some of the nephews are already enjoying my bookie.
My bookie.
My bookie. Wherever I go, I know he goes.
There was Hank and Jack both had basketball tournaments this past weekend at Elk Grove Village High School.
Okay.
So we're out there and walking up through the field house to go to the court to the first game. One of Hank's teammates, he was like, Hey, was this listening to Ford Progress? I'm like, you were? I'm like, why do you listen to Ford Progress? He's like, well, I hear it when I'm in the car and my parents listen. I'm like, oh, so your dad listens? He's like, no, my mom and dad, they both listen. So if I'm in the car with them, they're listening. I listen to it too. And he goes, I've listened to a lot.
Okay.
I'm like, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You 12-year-old 7th grader.
I got an email from a guy, or we got an email from a guy who said that his little kid likes to listen to music, and at one point the kid was disobedient, and he said, "Look, if you don't shape up, you're not going to listen to your songs on the way home." And the kid actually said, "Don't make me listen to Dan Bernstein."
No, he didn't.
That's okay.
Seriously?
Yeah, which is I love him. I want to send him a special
So-
something, I think.
Do you think that parent uses that as punishment now?
He better.
You better finish your food, otherwise you're listening to the Dan Bernstein Unfiltered.
Yeah, that's right, and nothing but at a loud volume. I think that is absolutely the proper way to raise your children, is to threaten them with having to listen to me.
So instead of maybe reading bedtime stories, like put in Forward Progress and listen for a few minutes.
And play the lullaby that was already made for Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, that's good.
All right, happy. And do not forget that on Friday, immediately after the game, we are going to be on this show live with immediate Bears postgame. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you set your alerts, make sure you're ready.
We'll be talking about a Bears victory over the Philadelphia Eagles on Friday, as the Bears will jump to 9-3. And take over the second seed in the NFC playoff picture.
You think so? Because I don't. I want that to be the case, but I definitely wouldn't bet on it.
10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress. A Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.